Hi, my name is Holly Carson. I wanted to come on and show people how to invert a set. It is a couple days before New Year's, and Color Street has a set called Ring It On. So here's the set. Black and gold glitter, very traditional New Year's Eve like colors, right? I saw a graphic out there where somebody took the set and instead of going up and down like we normally would with the set, they went side to side. So the ombre doesn't go from the black to gold, it went from black to gold or, vice versa. So I'm going to come on and I'm going to show you how to do that with the Color Street set. I'm not going to do a full mani, but I do know that if you want to see more of a full mani done with some tips and tricks, I actually made another YouTube video. So, like and subscribe, and then you can see my other ones where I give you tips and tricks and exactly how to do certain kinds of manis, or a normal Color Street mani. So if you want tips, tricks, there's some biggest bang for your buck where I show you how to get 2 manis and a pedi out of every single set. I show you how some basic nail care as well. Sorry, I have cat hair all over my face. So this set, we're gonna do it this way or this way depending on the hand. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Do know that with every Color Street set you can get 2 manis and a pedi, but you won't be able to if you do your mani in the fashion that I'm about to show you. The tools we're going to need in here is going to be rubbing alcohol wipe and your nail file, which we'll be using, but you're also going to need a rubber tip cuticle pusher, and although I don't use these very often, an orange stick, which is the wood cuticle pusher. So I normally kind of frown upon these unless it's in situations like we're about to do. We're going to be able to do most of our work actually with our thumbnail, but the other two are going to come in handy. So Color Street is made so that you can just open the set. You do not need any other tools to put it on unless you're going to do something different like we're about to do today. There are step-by-step instructions on exactly how to put Color Street on. That being said, this is only to show you how to get 1 fingernail out of every single strip. So this would only actually show you how to get 1 manicure out of a set. And everyone is a rubbing alcohol wipe, which you need every single time. If other people tell you that you do not need to use a rubbing alcohol wipe, maybe that's the problem. I'm sorry. I've used the rubbing alcohol wipe literally every single time, and I've never had a problem with it sticking. I've heard other people say, no, you don't need to use that every single time. Yeah, you do. So if you don't have that, you can just use regular rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to set that to the side. Now this is trash. This is how a set comes when it comes for Color Street, where they start out small and they slowly get bigger as they go. With every package of Color Street, there's a notch in one side. It is kind of hard to feel. Just kind of slide your fingers up and you'll feel like this one's super teeny tiny. But the notch makes it so you don't even need scissors to open the package. Literally everything you need in a set to put on a set of Color Street is in the package. That's what I love about it. So when you take it out, you will see that there are 2 rows. There's 16 strips. This one might be a little bit different, but typically I can get 2 manis and a pedi out of these 16 strips. But like I said, I'm gonna be showing you how to get or how to put these basically on sideways, which I have not done an entire set that way. I have done like an accent nail here and there, but not an entire set. So before you do anything, you need to use that rubbing alcohol wipe. Like I said, if you don't have the wipe, just use regular rubbing alcohol that you can get a big jug of it from the dollar store for $1, So but when you're going to do it, you're going to do it from knuckle to knuckle. You start at the top, I start at my knuckle, and then I go and I do my fingertips as well. Even if you're only going to put like on an accent set, I always do every single finger because the oils like to rub off from one finger to the next, okay? So every single finger, every single time, I do knuckle to knuckle. And you'd be surprised, like I'm always so surprised. Like I washed my hands before I did this, but now I'm using the rubbing alcohol wipe and I'm like always super surprised that it's not like crystal clear and white, but it's not. I mean, my lighting makes it look whiter than it is, but it is not. So the first thing we need to do is always start with our pinkies. We're going to go pinky, pinky, ring, ring, middle, middle, pointer, pointer, thumb, thumb. We save our thumbs for last because we're going to use them as tools as we go along here. Typically, I know what set or what strip is going to be for each finger, but because we're putting them on the opposite direction, we're going to put them on this way instead of this way. I'm going to need to actually figure out which strip is for what finger. Now I know for sure that this is actually going to be just too narrow, this first one, so I'm actually going to save this for a mix mani later. So we're going to go for the second strip and just kind of see how it ends up happening. But you're going to want to hold it up like that, and I'm actually thinking that this is going to be too narrow as well, potentially that side, but even then I feel like it's going to cut it really close and I'd rather go bigger. So I'm going to put that one to the side as well and go up to that next size up. So we're going to go for the third strip in. So if you're following along here, hold on. We got rid of these two and we're going to go for that third one as my pinky because we're going literally for the length is the width. So there are several different ways I could go about this, but I think what I'm going to do is, because on this side there's always like a perforation here and it's a little wider, I think I'm going to use this side of the strip and I'm going to go from here to there. Now, the one thing you do need to make sure is that you're going the same direction on your whole hand, because otherwise it's going to look kind of silly. So I'm going to take off the clear strip. And then we're going to go ahead and take off the silver part. I'm going to save this because I think I'm going to use it for anchoring. So I'm actually going to go ahead and anchor it right away onto there, right? And then I'm going to grab onto this side of the strip and then that silver part, and I'm going to pull in opposite directions very gently. Don't be silly with it. These are only made of nail polish, so we don't want to ruin the strip. So you can put the other thing to the side. It does have a little bit of nail polish onto it, so I typically like to stick it to the package. Oh, now it's going to stick to my finger now that I moved it. I like to stick it to that rubbing alcohol wipe package. This is a little trick that I like to do. I like to keep that to the side and then stick all my extras onto that. So now that we've got it anchored, you can hold on to this side a little easier, and we're going to line it up on the side. So I'm going to line up this side right here with the side of my pinky nail right there. Actually, I'm going to start with this pinky nail, which actually I can't because it is a little bit longer. Do you see? Like I did the size for this. See how like this one is longer? So I'm not even going to be able to get two fingernails out of this, which is fine because I expected to only get one mani out of this set, seeing as I'm doing a whole new set. So I'm going to line it up with the side of my pinky, and I'm going to go a little bit extra onto, and I'm going to have to reposition these a couple times. I'm used to being able to put it down and know exactly where it looks right away, but seeing as this is something kind of new for me, so I have a little bit of that black overlapping on my finger, and it's because of this curve right here. Because of the curve's kind of strong, you want to make sure it's all the way up to the top and all the way down to the bottom. So you're lining up one side as far as you can over, and then it's all the way over on this side. Now, there's going to be several different ways to go about this, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and leave leave this part on, and we'll come back and clean this up in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nail, and normally I would use my thumbnail, but I want you guys to see, and I'm going to take my pointer finger and I'm going to like draw that line on the side of my finger there, and then kind of push in a little bit. So like I'm kind of cutting it with my fingernail. And like I said, I would normally use my thumbnail for this. You could also use that wooden cuticle pusher, the orange stick, but I am not going to use my orange stick for this because I think the orange stick is just a little bit too abrasive. Yeah, maybe I'm going to need to use my thumbnail here. So you see, like I'm just using my thumbnail. My thumbnails are a little bit wider, a little bit stronger than my pointers, so I'm doing that, and then I'm going to go ahead and slowly pull away. Now I might need to come back, I'm going to need to come back and clean that up, a little bit, but like that's this essentially the gist of how I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this because, like I said, this pinky nail was a little bit shorter than the other one. So like I said, I'm gonna come back, I'm just gonna take my thumbnail and I'm gonna go along the edge there, clean it up. I'm gonna go ahead and go along the edge on this side as well. It's a little easier when you're looking at it in person instead of through the computer screen. But that's the gist of it. So my ombre is going from side to side instead of up and down. And then I'm going to take that little nail file that comes in the kit. They're all wrapped in a little bit of clear plastic. Not the whole thing, but the majority of it is. And then I'm just going to go ahead and file in a downward motion at the edge there so I can clean it up. And that's the look I'm trying to achieve. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one so you guys can see that as well. I'm going to go for that next strip. I think that's going to be, yeah, my other pinky nail. That's going to be that next strip. So I'm going to do the same sort of applications techniques. I'm going to go ahead and anchor it. And I'm pulling them in opposite directions. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, I can't really do it through the computer screen. I wish I could. Oops. No. I might not end up using this one because of the curve. Oh wait. Yeah, that'll be a good enough amount of black there. So I'm going on that one. Do you see how like I'm doing them the exact same way, whereas like the black is on both sides on this side instead of this side? So you're probably gonna go through the entire sets doing that, where they're the same. And then this one I actually angled a little bit downwards. You see how I did that? And then like I did the other one, we're just gonna go ahead, take our fingernail and draw a line, and we're cutting the strip and we're pulling it in a slow motion. I don't think I did a great job there, but there we go. And like I did with the other side, I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line there, and we're just cutting the strip. And I like to do this part right away instead of waiting. And then I'm gonna go ahead and file off the excess at the end there as well, just to clean it up. And there, I got both of my pinkies. Now, I'm gonna show you the next one using the orange stick so you can kind of get the gist of how that would look as well. So I think this one's gonna be wide enough. Maybe not, nope. I'm gonna go to the next one. Maybe even the next one. No, that's too big. Okay. Same sort of thing you did on this side, anchoring, pulling. And I'm actually probably going to use that other half on this one for the other finger. So just make sure when you're doing it, don't get silly. Make sure the black is always on the same side. Otherwise, it's going to look really funny. It is kind of a task to try to get them perfectly lined up. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so this time, instead of using my fingernail, because I know a lot of people have like thinner brittle nails, which is why they use Color Street, which is part of the reason I think Color Street is so great, is that really keeps my nails nice and strong all the time. I do even notice the day that I go without Color Street on that I do have breaking nails, just because the Color Street does make it so much stronger of a nail. So you're just going to use, I use this end to draw my line in there. So I'm going to probably have to stand up on this one so I can see above, but so you guys can see as well here. So like I go in on the flat side and I'm basically just pushing down where that is right there. Once I've got it all pushed down and it's like a nice straight line, then I can go back with this. And I kind of do like tick motions where you're like almost creating like a perforation instead of a straight line. The straight line does tend to pull it, and I don't want it to pull. And then I should be able to slowly pull it away like that. And the same thing is going to go for this side. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand, it's a little easier when your hand's flat down on the table to do that same sort of technique, and you can get it a lot faster. Like that's how fast you can get it when your hand's down on the table. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use all that extra on my ring finger on this hand. So I want you guys to be able to see that you can get 2 fingernails out of every single one. So I'm going to go ahead and lift it up here. And I did use the rubbing alcohol wipe on my fingertips, so I can touch this. I just prefer that anchor method with that first one. So see the black? I almost did it wrong. So I need to make sure that the black is facing the same way as on this side. So it's going to be a little trickier to put on because I am right-handed. But if I put my fingernail down, maybe it'll be a little easier. No. Yep, that's pretty good. So I got it down. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to angle you guys down a little bit. You can see all my strips, my little strip mess here. But I'm going to go ahead and do it down so you can kind of see how I do it when I'm down. But that's the same sort of motion where I go along the edge and I'm drawing that line. And then just the tick motion. Do not try to like pull it or all the way along the edge. It is gonna rip, like warning. And then I should be able to just pull this straight off with my fingernail. There you go. Yep, easy peasy. Do that same sort of thing on this side. I'll try not to be in the way too much here, but it is a little bit of a task to try to show everyone how to do this without the camera facing downwards. And then I can like literally just pick that off like that. But you guys, that's kind of really neat, don't you think? I'm gonna clean that up a little bit, but that is the gist of how you're gonna do it sideways. All right, ladies, I hope that was informative for you. If you want a little bit more detailed on exactly how to do color straight even just the other way, like I said, I have another video on YouTube and I'm going to continue to make videos showing you a little bit of tips and tricks, but I like to give a little bit more of a close-up. I feel like people aren't really giving as many tips and tricks as I just showed you like 4 different ways to put it on with just using 4 fingers. So anyways, have yourselves a wonderful day. Like and follow if you like what you see.